While I was reading this week, I realized that my favorite parts of the books were where I could see how the characters had done the work, grown, and become better versions of themselves. When I contemplated my own writing projects, I realized I could do better at giving my characters room to grow. Welcome back to Morgan's Writing Tips and Writerly Musings with writing tips from the pros and, of course, my own writerly musings. I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood, and today I'm back with giving your characters room to grow. So, first off, let's talk about flawed characters. Most characters are supposed to be relatable, and to be human is to err. There are multiple approaches to creating flawed characters. First, base them on somebody you know, or a combination of people you know. Is your friend slash character impulsive and crude, hesitant and passive aggressive? Figure out which traits you want to imbue your character with and think to yourself, what would friend do in this situation? The second approach many people take is the RPG style. Go down a list of traits and give them points in each category. Points of impulsiveness, 7 in excitability, and 4 in forgetfulness. The third option is to play against their strengths. There was a Tumblr post going around talking about Shakespeare Macbeth, how he was a man of contemplation while Othello was a man of action. Had Macbeth been more decisive or Othello more contemplative, their tragedies may have been avoided. Give your characters strengths and then put them in situations where their strengths are either not useful or actively working against them. So maybe they're good at collaboration. Isolate them and or maybe put them with people who don't have their best interest in mind. Is there's a physical strength in a battle of wits? Option 4 for creating flawed characters is just pick a vice or two. In the traditional Christian list of vices, we have greed, gluttony, sloth, wrath, lust, envy, and pride, but you can go with any set or subset. And option 5 is so perfect, it's its own flaw. If they're so perfect and so noble, if they always do the right thing, then they likely have problems relating to others. Even if they're understanding and empathic, it can be hard for other characters to relate to them, and that can work as your flaw. So let's talk about realistically flawed characters. All of your characters should be flawed, not just the main characters and the villains. Although over the top villains that are evil for the sake of evil exist in stories, they aren't very realistic and don't interest most readers, including me. So, one way to make a flaw realistic is for there to be a reason for it. We're all a mix of nature and nurture. By giving the flaw a foundation, we have a truth the character can choose to hide from, fight, or accept. So, a couple flaw foundation ideas that I came up with is, does their pride rest on the fact that they only value themselves for what they can do for others? Are they lustful because that's the only way they know how to accept love? Perhaps, you know, their sloth derives from parents or teachers disparaging any attempts that weren't perfect, and so they stopped trying. It could be their brain chemistry is unbalanced and they need support to get better. All of these are options, and obviously plenty more. So, next up, let's talk about overcoming or embracing that baggage. Note, I am not a therapist, so take this next part with a grain of salt. So, as therapy teaches, realizing the foundation of a behavior is only the first step in overcoming it. And While we hope our heroes overcome their baggage, villains and anti heroes often go down the other path. Healing is gradual and things don't get fixed overnight. And although trauma can break things, the descent to embracing baggage is usually gradual as well. So recognize that most characters don't go through all of these steps in a single novel, unless that's the point of the book to see them processing. So for our villains, our anti heroes, and background jerks, we have embrace the baggage. Step one, recognize the flaw, optional. Step two, embrace the flaw. Step three, justify the behaviors that support the flaw. Step four, escalate. If sliding and consequences happen, escalate some more. Trauma, escalate. You get the point. For our heroes and their friends, overcoming baggage is hopefully the direction they're going. Step one, acknowledge the foundation of the flaw. Step two, recognize the behaviors triggered by the flaw. Step three, develop coping mechanisms to avoid, work around, or mitigate some of the effects. Next step, get external support where applicable. Then understand there will be backsliding and consequences, but keep working at it. A couple closing thoughts. So, in order to keep these relatably flawed characters, remember that as people grow and change, some behaviors get healthier at the same time that others get worse, and vice versa. Or just put them in situations where their newfound strengths are now weaknesses, uh, as I talked about earlier. So, are there any methods for developing flawed characters I missed? Let me know. What characters have you enjoyed watching grow and overcome their flaws? What characters have you enjoyed watching embrace their flaws? And as a layperson, are there any steps for overcoming or embracing flaws that I missed? Let me know. And as always, thanks for watching and tune in again next week for more writing tips and writerly musings. Bye bye.